Hello, hi friends. My name is Sarvansh and thank you for watching my the other video about Intune tutorial. So today we are going to talk about the SCEP certificate in Intune and we'll try to understand what type of certificate we can deploy via the Intune. So let me start this video and we'll go on through the how we can configure the NDES server which will help to create a SCEP certificate. So let us start this video and we'll learn it some theoretical part and some of the practical things. So let me go to the next slide. So what is here? It's supported certificate Intune. What type of certificate Intune is going to support? That is a one of the SCEP. So mostly we're going to use the SCEP certificate to deploy via the Intune. So SCEP certificate, what is the SCEP certificate? So SCEP stand for is a simple certificate enrollment protocol. The second one is the PKCS, that is called like public key cryptography standards, and third is imported PKCS. So again it's a imported public key cryptography standard. So there are the three types of certificate can be deployed via the Intune. Anyway, you can use the any third party tool as well, but in this our scenario we're going to focus more into the SCEP certificate. Let's see what's required to use the certificate. When we say I'm going to use the certificate via the Intune, so what are the things to come, what are the things will come to the picture? That is a certificate authority. So we need a certificate authority. So your CASA is the source of the trust, that is the certificate reference for the authentication. So we can use the Microsoft CA or a third party CA. And what else we needed? We need a on premises infrastructure for the SCEP PKCS or imported PKCS, and a trusted root certificate. So before you deploy a SCEP or the PKCS certificate profile, deploy the trusted root certificate from your CA using a trust certificate profile. So these are the things is the common things which we need to understand. What are the things is required when we deploy or when we use the certificates. So let's see what type of certificate we have. As I told, we have the one of SCEP, PKCS, and imported PKCS. So let's try to understand the SCEP. What is the SCEP certificate? Or before this, let us understand the certificate. What is the certificate? So certificate will provide you the same last authentication where the client will communicate to server without any of the authentication. So usually that certificate will provide the authentication to a client, from the client to server, without any username password. It's called like a seamless authentication. Now here is a deploy certificate for a certificate requested to the user or devices. Each certificate that provisioned using SCEP is unique and tied to the user or a device that requests to the certificate. Or with the SCEP you can deploy a certificate device that like a user affinity, including user SCEP to provision a certificate or kiosk on the user last. So these are the few things are there. It required the NDES server. When we are using the SCEP, we required NDES server and the IIS role as well, and it required a certificate connector for Microsoft Intune. That connector will create a connection between your NDES and your the Intune. So now here is something need to understand, like why it required the certificate. So when my device is in the Intune and the device is a part of cloud, it's nowhere connected with your on-premise infra. So it's not having any rights to connect our on-prem infra So what we do, we create a certificate from the NDES server and will deploy through Intune. After deploying this, when the client is having the certificate, SCEP certificate, then that by using that certificate, that user can get the authenticate in your own prem infra. So that is the whole idea about to deploy this SCEP certificate. So here we have the PKCS certificate. Deploy a template for a certificate request that specified to a certificate type of either user or devices. Request for a certificate type of a user always require the user affinity. So these are the few characteristic about this. Let me go and jump into the main topic, the PKCS. What it will do: deploy a single certificate on a multiple devices that user a supported scenario like S/MIME signing and the encryption. So these are the things like some basic logic or basic concepts about the SCAP, PKCS, and the imported PKCS certificate. So let us understand the logic, how this SCAP is going to work with the Intune. So this here is a supported platform and the certificate profile. It almost everywhere is going to support, like the trusted profile, PKCS certificate, SCAP certificate profile, PKCS imported certificate profile. Let me go to this chart. This is the flow chart I have created to make you guys understand how the device will get authenticate from this NS server and the certificate authority. So you have Intune in place, you have the devices, you have the NDES server with the Intune connector, with the Intune NDES connector, and you have a CA, certification authority. So let's try to understand this. First, the Intune will connect with the device, and then the device is going to connect with your NDES server plus Intune connector. When your device is connecting with the NDES, the same time it will connect with the NDES connector. So this is the third point. And the fourth point, this NDES server is going to communicate with your CA, certificate authority, and then your CA will send back the certificate to your NDES server. Once the certificate issued to NDES server, then the NDES server will send the certificate to your device, and the same way NDES will send a certificate to the Intune. I mean the authentication. Once the certificate enrolled, then this process going to happen. Then this process going to work. Like the first, Intune will connect with the devices. Devices will go to connect the NDES by using that NDES certificate. Then your NDES will communicate with the CA. Then CA will send back information to the NDES server, and in the reverse back, NDES will give the signing to the device and will send the information to Intune console. So these are the flows which I created to make you understand well how the SCEP certificate flow works. So here is the few prerequisite when we install the SCEP, and we need the SCEP installation. So what are the prerequisites we need? So we need the IIS, and we need the Active Directory certificate services. We need a .NET. So these are the things we needed, and as we needed. So let me go and in the server, and let us configure the NDES server. So I have here a certificate. Okay, so here is the my server. This is the NDES server. Let me go here on the CMT and let's see the host name. So this server is basically I built to show you how the NDES server configuration will done. Anyway, this part is not comes under the as a Intune administrator. This should be done by the certificate authority team, whoever responsible in your company or the or on your organization, like the AD team taking care of that, or the server team, or someone else team is taking care. So this server should built by them, but as we are under the lab, so we can understand the flow, or if we want to create the end server, we can follow these steps. So let's start to install the NDES server, and we'll try to understand how it will configure and how it will work. So let us go with the server roles. Under the server roles, we'll install the role called NDES server. So let me go here and let us start this. Okay, so here let it go on. It is under progress. So now go with the role. No, it's under the process. So now let me click with the role, and here you need to go with the next, next, and next, and here we need to select the Active Directory certificate services and the web IIS. So two things are required from here, and as I showed you in my PPT, so these are the prerequisite which we are going to follow to install our the NDES server. So two things we have selected. Now under the features, need to select the .NET 4.7. So let us go on next, and under the next we have the 4.7. Under the 4.7 WCF, and this is like a HTTP activation, and this role already be selected. Let us select these all these features to activate our NDES server. So here no need to do anything. Let us go with the next, next, and CA we do not need. Here we need the NDES server. So NDES server, network device enrollment services. So that is the stand for NDES. Let us go and the next and next. So here we can select the rest of things if anything is missing, like under the IAS security, under the security request filtering. So let us search with the security where I can find out. So health web, under the security, the request filtering is already selected. Okay, good. Application development, so .NET extendability 4.7 and the ASP. Under the application and development, where is the application and development? Here we need the 4.7 and the ASP .NET 4.7. So this also selected. Then it is management tool, IIS management tool. So where is the management tool? IIS management console. Okay, well and good. Under 6 management, so these two options. So IIS 6 meta compatibility, and WMI compatibility, and the WMI compatibility. Now here is like in the additionally .NET framework 3.5 feature, .NET 3.5, and the HTTP activation. So where it is, I think it is under the back, .NET 3.5 HTTP activation and .NET 3.5. Okay, that is already installed. So now we are good to install this NDES server. Now click on next, next, and next, next, and now click on install. So it will take couple of minutes to install this NDES role. Then we'll configure this role, and then we'll test it whether it's configured well or not. So let us wait for few of the minutes. Okay, so this NDES server installation is done now. So let me close here. And once you close it, you can see in a yellow color button here to configure the NDES server. So now click here and let us select. So this is like a credential. If you want to change, you can do that. And if it is correct, then it's fine. So I'm using the NDES username here to configure my the NDES server. So let us wait for some time. When this process is complete, it's under the progress. Okay, so now let us click on next here, and here you can select the network device enrollment services. So let's click on next, and here specified the account, and it clearly says that account should be part of IIS underscore IS user group. So let us make it happen. Now what we can do, let me go under the tools, computer management, come on. Okay, so now it's here. Go to the user and groups. Now groups, and here is IIS user. So now add here NDES user. So this is what the user I created to configure my the NDES server. That's all. This is more than enough. And let us go and select this user. This is NDES user, and here is the password. Okay, great. Now click on next, and here it asking for the CA name. Where is your CA hosted? So my CA hosted under the AD server. Let us select this ad.us.com, and now just click on next. So it automatically detect or the RA, it's like a registration authority, and you can select the country wherever you want. So I'm just selecting by default US, and this is the required. If you want to fill it, it's optional information like email ID, company, department, city, state, so it's not a mandatory. Now click on next, and these are the by default setting for your the CPS, that is a cryptographic service provider. So you can select based on your requirement, but I'm going with the default CPS. So let me go with the next, and here is the confirmation and the review, where you can review. If you want to modify, you can go back and you can modify it, and then click on configure. So now this is going to configure here, and I was supposed to show you registry value over here. So you can go with this registry path: software Microsoft cryptography, local machine, software Microsoft, and the cryptography. So it's here, and under the cryptography you can see this M SCEP, Microsoft SCEP registry key will create when your NDS is configured well. So it's configuration success, and you can verify this registry key here. So that means is your the registration NDS installed successfully. And now let us test whether the NDES is accessing or not, it's working well or not. So let us go here and just paste this URL and just test it whether it's going to work or not. So here let me change this NDES NDES server, or you can check the host name again. This is NDES, and now take this URL and test it whether the NDES server is working or not. So just hit this URL, so it will give you the output and it will show you whether NDES is working or not. So if you've seen this network device, the enrollment services, this is the NDES server. If you've seen this output, that means it's your NDES is working well. So now we configured our NDES server on this server, and NDES is working well. And even you can verify that with the registry value and with the URL as well. So here is one more thing is about the NDES registration. So let me go with the NDES, and we need to register this NDES. We need to set SPN for this NDES server. So let me close this. Let me go here and let us go with the CMT. Come on. And now this is like a last step to configure the NDES server, and after this we can start the integration with the Intune. Like we can use the connector configuration. So now here what we can do, take this URL, this is the part to set the SPN. Okay, I did a mistake here. uh, Here is the account, so this will be the eus.com/ndes and dash user. So this should work. So let's see, checking is the registering this CN as the updated object. So now this is done, and our set SPN is worked. So updated the object, registering the service principal name, that is the user is the NDES user. And here in this command, let me explain you what is that is the set SPN hyphen http. This is the my NDS server name, and this is the domain, and this is the username what I used. So you can put the enter again, and the checking domain, this is the duplicate admin, a duplicate found aborting the operation. So that means is this set SPN is already set for this NDES server. So guys, this only the things what we can do with our NDES server, and like you have learned in this video how you can configure the NDES server. So in my next video I will be showing how you can use the connector, Intune connector with the NDES server, and how you can generate the certificate. So see you soon guys in my the next video. Thank you.